What's up, guys? Coach John Wojo here with JW Fitness answering another question. Thoughts on barbell deadlifts versus trap bar deadlifts. Pros and cons to each. Is one harder than the other? I've only done trap bar deadlifts because I don't have a ton of space in my home gym. I don't know what that means. You don't need a ton of, it takes up the same amount of space. However, I could do them though if there is some great benefit to them. I'm just trying to build muscle, not get into competitions, etc. Whatever workouts net the most muscle, that's what I try and stick to. All right, so again, to address kind of the last statement or question first is that I think that deadlifts are best used as a overall strengthening exercise in a lower rep range. Deadlifts in any form are not a bodybuilding movement per se. They are not like an isolation exercise, right? Certainly not. They are a compound movement. They are using virtually all of the muscles in your body. If they are not assisting in the movement directly, then they are bracing themselves to create more stability, to allow the prime movers of the movement to do their thing, to lift the weight from point A to point B. The deadlift is not designed to just stress this group of muscles or just stress this group of muscles or so on. So it's not a hypertrophy exercise or a bodybuilding exercise. I'm not saying that there is not a hypertrophy stimulus that can come from deadlifting. I'm not saying that someone cannot get bigger along with getting stronger from deadlifting. I'm just saying it's probably not the best choice if you are a bodybuilder and looking to get bigger, that you're not going to like build an entire workout around like barbell deadlifting or trap bar deadlifting. There are other exercises that are way better suited to like build your quads or build your hamstrings or build your glutes or build your traps or build your lats or build your erectors and so on. Having said all that, my thoughts on barbell deadlifts versus trap bar deadlifts. So they are different. If you are not familiar with what a trap bar or a hex bar deadlift is, it is a bar that is roughly a kind of hex shape where you stand inside of the bar, essentially. So your stance, your body is in line with where the plates are loaded. And then typically the handles are parallel in nature and they are elevated above where the plates are loaded by roughly 4 inches. And nowadays there are all different types of trap bars that the handles could be 6 inches or even higher or whatever. But if you're doing a high handle trap bar deadlift, I believe the handles are roughly 4 inches higher than the normal pick height of a barbell, and which I believe is 7.5 inches from the floor, roughly, if I'm remembering correctly. So right away, in a traditional barbell deadlift, obviously, as close as you can get to the barbell, you can get, the bar is still in front of your body. And you have to perform the barbell deadlift in such a way that the bar has to pass your knees on the way up. So you can only position yourself in such a way because the most efficient path of the barbell in a deadlift is straight up and down. So you have to position yourself in such a way to allow that to happen. So a straight bar barbell deadlift where the bar is in front of you is extra stressful on your posterior chain, which is everything from your calves, hamstrings, glutes, erectors, your rhomboids, your traps. Your entire backside of your body is stressed greatly when you're doing a barbell deadlift because the weight is literally in front of you. Even just standing with a barbell in your hands at the lockout position of a deadlift with very heavy weight, you could sense that, the weight is still in front of you. It's pulling you forward. So that is creating a lot of stress, like I said, on your posterior chain. Whereas a trapped bar deadlift you can perform a trap bar deadlift as strictly as you would perform a barbell deadlift, but one thing you could do on a trap bar deadlift that will make it a little bit easier is you can allow your knees to shoot forward a little bit, turning it into more of a squatty form of a deadlift, which is using more quads. The movement is going to be easier right off the bat because you are not moving the weight as far through as great a range of motion, because your pick height, if you're using the high handles, like I said, is like 4 inches higher. So you're losing 4 inches of bar travel on the movement. Plus you're able to kind of freely move your body into a position that works best for you, because you're not encumbered by the straight bar in front of your shins because you're standing inside of the bar itself. So the weight can swing and you can adjust your body in a way that is most comfortable to you, putting you in the strongest position possible to lift this weight off the floor. So that was a really long-winded answer, but the short answer is yes, trap bar deadlifts are easier than straight bar deadlifts. Take anybody on the planet and they are going to be able to trap bar deadlift more than they straight bar deadlift. Or I should say, they're going to be able to trap bar deadlift more than they can conventional deadlift. Sumo might be another story. There's some crazy sumo deadlifters out there lifting like crazy heavy ass weights at a very low body weight. And I'm not going to get into that, but let's just compare trap bar deadlifts versus conventional straight bar deadlifts. I would say virtually 100%, if not 100%, hands down, of everybody in the world is going to be able to trap bar deadlift more than they can conventional deadlift, because of all the reasons I already gave. So, and having said that, there's no real like muscle building, body building benefit to doing either of those movements. If anything, I would choose the straight bar deadlift is going to have more of a hypertrophic stimulus for your posterior chain. I would say not so much the trap bar. Not so much the trap bar is not going to have the same stress on your posterior chain, because you're able to cheat the movement a little bit and turn it into a squatty deadlift. And then at that, your quads are not going through the range of motion necessary for it to be a superior like quadriceps developer. So again, it's an exercise that is best used as a full body compound movement, like strength exercise. So if you want to get strong in positions that approximate the positions that you're going to be in when you trap bar deadlift, then that's a great exercise for you. It's in that sense, it's a great exercise for athletes, because an athlete can take an athletic stance. They can adjust their position into a position that is strongest for them. They could pull a lot of weight off the floor with a trap bar. It's easier to teach somebody a trap bar deadlift than it is to teach them a barbell deadlift. And because athletes are in the gym lifting heavy shit on a trap bar, it's going to make them feel very confident, and it provides a lot of maybe mental confidence for them on the playing field. But again, it's a strength exercise. It's not best used as a bodybuilding exercise. And I talked way too long about those two deadlifts. So if you have any more questions, put them in the comments below. Guys, I hope you appreciate the content. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Send me your questions, and I'll talk to you soon.